Alperen Sengun hits clutch free throws. Thompson has some key blocks, and the Rockets beat the Phoenix Suns 114-110. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Summit State of Mind, a post-game reaction Summit State of Mind episode. In this episode, we're going to discuss Rockets defeating the Suns 114-110. Topics we're just going to unpack throughout the game, the stories that took place within the game. Once again, my name is Kenny, aka The Commish. Welcome to another episode of Summit State of Mind. Once again, another post-game reaction. You know I had to do it one time. The Rockets defeated the Phoenix Suns 114-110. And don't be fooled by the color of my jersey. I am rocking the Houston Dynamo kit one time. That's right, the H-Town purple kit. Don't confuse the purple and orange with Phoenix now. I'm rocking this purely for the Houston Dynamo. They're actually having their opening night literally tonight. I'm recording this very late, so it's actually taking place 24 hours from now. So shout outs to them. But look, bottom line, we're here for one reason only, to discuss the Houston Rockets, Alperen Sengun with some clutch free throws. I'm just glad to be finally back in the win column after suffering during the All-Star break. Before the All-Star break, we were just on a winless streak here. Came out laid an egg against New Orleans away from home, and then finally getting home and sleeping in our beds, obviously making a huge difference. Once again, the hometown team cooked. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde continues to ring true for this Houston Rockets, who continue to struggle away from Toyota Center. But every time they cross the threshold of Toyota Center, they become one of the most dominant teams in basketball. So let's talk about it right now. First of all, I got to open it up one time with a question. Who is your player of the game for this Houston Rockets win over the Phoenix Suns? A lot to call here. You got Thompson, key blocks, a double-double. Jabari Smith, double-double, 20-plus points, 16 rebounds. How about Alperen Sengun, the unsung hero, with another big game, another big double-double. You're talking big games all across the board, guys. There's a lot to discuss and unpack here. I'm just glad to be able to come back on this show and discuss a win, finally. Just glad we can do that. So let's go ahead and talk about it and unpack it and the way it opened up. Because look, the Houston Rockets, like I said earlier, they laid an egg against the New Orleans Pelicans. It was not a great game by any means. It was close in the first half, and then it ballooned to 20-plus point deficit. And that kind of set the table going into tonight. This team continually loses footing in their chance to make it to the play-in as Golden State and the LA Lakers continue to assert that Hall of Fame dominance, whether it's Steph Curry in Golden State or LeBron in LA. It put the Rockets in a really tough spot with teams starting to figure us out. So fast forward to today, putting us into this moment against the Phoenix Suns, the 33-23 Phoenix Suns, who are, still have Kevin Durant, still have Devin Booker, may not be the most dominant team in the NBA, but hey, they got themselves certified studs, a future Hall of Famer once again in Kevin Durant. So you knew coming into Toyota Center, the Rockets had a big bullseye on their back. They came in on a back-to-back, finally getting to sleep in their beds, getting the opportunity to perform once again in front of the home crowd, wearing their own hometown kit, the hometown heroes jersey. They're like 11-5 or something in that uniform. I mean, it's been absolutely dominant. Start the right now, what is it? The petition to go ahead and make that the permanent unis, because they seem to love it. They perform very, very well with it at home. But once again, the Houston Rockets coming to Toyota Center, getting this big W against Phoenix. They went down 22-6 to open the game. 22-6. They were down 16. And when I mean the starters being the prime example of why this team gets off the slow starts. You have to look at the starters across the board. None of them have been performing to the capabilities that we've expected and seen from them from earlier in the season, starting with Jalen Green not playing well, obviously was worst shooting percentage of his entire year so far in February. Jabari Smith trying to ramping up from his injuries and still not being able to find his footing, having on games, off games. Alperen Sengun being triple teamed. There's a lot flailing here, but shouts to Ime Udoka, who wants to continue to stay with this starting lineup just to see what they're capable of now that they're all healthy, with Fred VanVleet being back as well as DB Dylan Brooks. Wants to see what this team is capable of in a healthy setting. So I mean, kudos to him. I have my opinion on it. I believe that this was probably going to be, this game was going to be the kind of the setting point here. I believe if they lost this game, especially if they lost this game big, Ime Udoka was going to start looking elsewhere. I think he was going to start pulling from the bench, Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore. Most likely Amen Thompson was going to get a start. But, I mean, they came in 22-6. The starters could not get anything going. Insert Amen Thompson. Insert Cam Whitmore, and you are looking at, once again, the true Energizer Bunnies of this team. Makes me realize how much I miss Tari Eason. Oh my gosh, to get the opportunity to get all three of these guys on the court off the bench, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, I'm salivating at the opportunity. The fact that we haven't even seen this all season with a season realized Cam Whitmore and a season realized version of Amen Thompson playing with Tari Eason. I can't even see that. But bottom line, they came in, they showed up, took down the 16-point lead, brought it all the way down to 5 at one point. This is what they have done the past 5 or 6 games. And this is what Amen Thompson kind of has started to surge and kind of forcing Ime Udoka's hand, like maybe I should be the starter. Maybe, he's playing very, very well, and I've said this time and time again, and I've gotten flack for it. But now people are starting to see the way, let it cook and watching him play. I really call him the second coming of Penny Hardaway if he got his jump shot going. Watching him maneuver across the floor, offense, defense. Can we talk about the defense that he played on Devin Booker? You're talking about one of the most premier players in the entire NBA in Devin Booker, who consistently cooks the Rockets, by the way. Like Devin Booker and every star guard that can shoot the rock has consistently trounced us. Steph Curry, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, like the list goes on. All the star guards, Devin Booker in that equation. I love that they put Amen Thompson on him. And not only that, but Amen Thompson's size, his physicality, his quickness seemed to have bothered Devin Booker. And speaking of who else it bothers, I want to shine. Well, first of all, let's just go ahead. We're already shining the spotlight on Amen Thompson. Let's shine the spotlight on Amen Thompson. Because came off the bench, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 6 of 11 from the field, 2 blocks. The 2 blocks he had was against 7-footer Kevin Durant and 7'2" Bol Bol. He blocked 16 feet worth of wingspan, boys and girls. In the span of those 2 blocks, Amen Thompson is a freak of athletic nature. And the best part about it, he's putting it together now in the most prime spot of the season when you really need it. You're looking at a player that's performing above expectations now. He was the 4th overall pick, but they didn't expect him to do this. I think literally he's a jump shot away from being a triple-double machine. Like kissing triple-doubles, getting around triple-doubles. I could see him like 15, 8, and 8. Like it's actually viable. He is so good and so gifted in his craft and what he does. And he's only a rookie, and he's only getting better. It was a prime example of what you saw tonight. Fast forward throughout the game, the Rockets ended up going on a big run in that second quarter as well, which leads to big moments from Fred VanVleet as well. Look, if we're going to give flowers to the guards, we can't not leave Fred VanVleet off the table. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 7 of 15 from the floor, 6 of 14 from 3. Every 3 necessary over here. This comeback, it sparked a 24-6 run to end the first half. That was with a 3 that was given up at the very last second to I wanted to call Grayson Waller, Grayson Allen, shouts to my wrestling listeners, who ended up hitting a 3. It would have been 24-3. The Rockets ended up going up 5 going into the half, but that 24-6 run was sparked by Fred VanVleet and the bench and their ability to get back into the game. The part where it got a little weird was when they went on the run and then the starters got inserted into the game. And maybe it's me being melodramatic and maybe it was me, but I really thought, first thing I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is it. Like the bench, they went on their run. Like FVV is leading this current run. And now you're putting in DB, you're putting in Jalen Green. Let's see what happens. They responded accordingly. DB finally locking in on the defense. Jalen Green finally getting able to get some offense going, able to hit a nice step back 3. They went up 5 at the end of the first half. Then going into the third quarter, a lot of seesaw back and forth. Ultimately, we took the lead, took a big lead. Going into the fourth, going up 12. This is where the moments get big because Kevin Durant went and did Kevin Durant things. Kevin Durant in Toyota Center is like, it's spaghetti and meatballs, it just goes together. Kevin Durant loves to play here, loves to play in these big moments. Phoenix Suns, of course, this classic Phoenix being the worst fourth quarter team in the entire NBA, like by a wide margin, ends up having a stellar fourth quarter because of course, right? And how about Bol? Nearly got his career high because of course. It's classic heartbreak Houston to put yourself in this situation to be up 12, up 13 going into the fourth quarter and then letting it dwindle away, and they slowly crept back. The Phoenix Suns. Ultimately, big 3s by Jabari Smith coupled with really huge defensive possessions. They put DB on Kevin Durant. They put Amen Thompson on Devin Booker, 2 of the most premier scorers in the NBA. Put DB, you put Amen Thompson, lock him down. That's basically what ended up happening. Kevin Durant got his. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from Kevin Durant, but Devin Booker had 25 points, but he took 24 shots just to get to those 25 points. Amen Thompson played phenomenal defense. I don't care what the points say. 25 points is 25 points. 25 points for 24 shots, inefficiency at its finest. Amen Thompson played phenomenal defense. Cam Whitmore coupled with that playing stellar defensive possessions. The starters ended up coming in. Sands, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson took that spot. Clutch defensive possessions down the road, which leads me to this moment, to a moment that culminated throughout the game, which has been a big problem for the Houston Rockets. Clutch free throws towards the end of the game. And who else to put into that situation but the player that, in my opinion, should have been an all-star and it was robbed from him. Put Alperen Sengun, enter the spotlight, big free throws on the line here. Able to either put this game away or possibly extend it or even give Phoenix the lead. Alperen Sengun fouled, took his deep breath, said his prayer. Shouts to my Turkey listeners once again that continue to stay strong for us. I would love to know what he says, by the way. If anyone can convert it for me, or if anyone can translate it for me, please, I would love to know what he says. I know it's a Turkish prayer. I would love to know what he says. And then calmly knocks down 4 huge magnitude shaking free throws. Like, they're free throws with under a minute. You have Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker, players that they're capable of hitting a big 3 and basically locking in the game, whether it's tie or taking the lead. Alperen Sengun calmly knocks down 4 huge free throws. And that's the thing too. And if we can just shine a spotlight on that, it's a perfect opportunity. I can shine a spotlight on Sengun now. 17 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 of 15 from the floor. He missed a lot of bunnies at the rim. I'm not going to excuse LP of that. He missed a lot of bunnies at the rim, a lot of defensive mistakes as well in the perimeter. A lot of Bul's takes were based off of Alperen Sengun getting pump faked. He has to stay flat on the floor, keep his feet moving, stay and move laterally. That's as far as I'll say in regards to the defense. But the ability to stay steadfast. He's every possession he's getting doubled and triple teamed. I said this in the past. This is on two people. It's on Sengun. It's on Ime. How's Ime going to adjust the plays accordingly? And how's Alperen Sengun going to adjust accordingly? That's how he's going to figure out ways out of this. Now he's seeing doubles and triples now. So how is he going to find a way to be effective and still score? Had a couple of turnovers. And he's going to learn from that, but Ime and Alpine need to get together and figure out how are we going to get out of these situations. One, hit some clutch shots. The Rockets hit some timely three-point shots, which ultimately opened up the floor. It gave way for Alperen Sengun to get a chance to get a couple of big hook shots down the stretch as well. I mean, he extended it from a three-point lead to a 5-point lead off a Dillon Brooks pass in the clutch moments, I think with like under 3 minutes left in the game. I mean, this was a testament to how good this team can be. That's why it's infuriating and frustrating. As Rockets media, as a fan at heart, it's frustrating to watch because you see the lack of effort from the team sometimes, and you want to see them play well. You want to see them do well. You want to see them play for each other, and ultimately you want to see this team win. This team is capable of being any team in the NBA. I truly believe it. I think it comes down to effort and execution, and they need both of that. And they put both of that together and realize, like, hey, we're a pretty badass team given the opportunities. So Alperen Sengun hits clutch free throws. Shoutouts to him one time. Shoutouts to Jabari Smith Jr. too, by the way. Oh my goodness, 22 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. 6 of 18, a lot left to be desired in terms of percentage. I mean, he had a horrible start to the game. I'm not calling spade a spade. I think he was like 0 of 5, 0 of 6 to start. Like it was really bad. But his ability to stay steadfast in the game, hit a clutch 3 down the stretch, hit some clutch free throws down the stretch as well. He missed one, but then he followed up and made 3 in a row after that. I mean, you're looking at possibly. And this is a sophomore year of Jabari Smith Jr., so you're seeing a lot of ups and you're seeing a lot of downs, but the highs have definitely overshadowed the lows, and we're starting to see him kind of putting that together, finding the pocket for which makes him successful, but not only makes him successful, but helps elevate the team and makes them successful as a whole. So Jabari Smith Jr. has done incredible things. 22 and 16, I mean, come on, that's pretty insane to see. And then granted, Phoenix is a very small team. Like Kevin Durant, I know Kevin Durant's 7 feet, but I mean they had Eubanks, who isn't really a true big in my opinion. And like, you know, they put themselves into this situation, and that's why ultimately they end up getting a win. Down the stretch in the closing seconds, it ended up being, you know, a free throw contest, which I thought was a smart move. I mean, you gave up a big 3 against Portland at home, which ended up tying the game. If I remember correctly, it was Grant that hit that 3 that ultimately extended the game, which led to ultimately a loss. I can't remember if it was Toronto or if it was Portland, in which the game that happened, but it took place in Toyota Center. So Ime Udoka playing against, you know, across the court, some of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history. No, let's not mess around. We're up 3, make some free throws. You know what I mean? So it became a free throw contest down the stretch. Ultimately, the Rockets did make it. It was the weird moment when Kevin Durant pump faked his free throw. I never seen anything like it. I'm pretty flabbergasted. I've watched basketball since like 2001, and I've never seen that in my life. So that's pretty incredible to see. So ultimately, the Rockets did escape with the win, 114-110. Like I said, the magnitude of this win is uncomparable because, one, it keeps you within striking distance from an already stacked Western Conference in terms of play-in teams. The fact that Golden State and the LA Lakers are 10-9 is not looking good for the Rockets. I think if they lost tonight, they wouldn't have been mathematically eliminated, but they would be in a pretty rough spot, and it'd be a lot tougher for them to possibly maybe make a comeback This team ultimately does improve. They improved to 25-31. It's a good record. All intents and purposes, 6 games under 500, 25-31. Not a sexy record, but considering where we were the last couple of years, it's a lot better of a record. Now, granted, what does it mean now moving forward for this team? This team continues the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario. What do? They play very, very well at home. The incredible record at home. I still don't fully understand the Rockets, how they play, on the road as opposed to the way that they play at home. They play on the road and it's like the air gets sucked out of the balloon. It's almost like they play like a completely different team. I don't know how to describe it fully even. I've watched and logged every single game, whether I'm watching it live or not live, or if I'm rewatching it on the back end. The Rockets are 19-9 at home, and they are 5-22 on the road. Like, it's inexcusable. That's why you're 25-31. If you think about it, if they get, they're 6 games under 500. You just get 6 of those wins away from home, and you're still 11-22, which is a really bad record on the road regardless. This is that's been the bane of their existence. When they're away from home, they play like the worst team in the league. When they play at home, they're one of the absolute best teams in the league. And that's what they've proven throughout the season. It's been a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of highs, and we know there's been a lot of lows with this team. So what do we look forward to from here? I would love for there to be a miracle run. I would love to win 10 in a row. Golden State loses 5 or 6 in a row. Maybe we find a way to sneak in. That would be nice. More than likely not. Realistically speaking, I don't see us making the play-in. What do you do now from here on in? Win as many games as you possibly can. And get yourselves going, whether it's for next year or not. Alperen Sengun obviously did not make the All-Star game, so that was heartbreaking. Play-in did not happen, so that's heartbreaking as well. What can this team do moving forward? Continue to develop, continue to get that chemistry going. We don't know who's going to be here next year, so just continue to build upon the confidence that you got from this game. That's why this game ended up being so huge, because it was against Phoenix, one of the better teams in the Western Conference. A team that you definitely, if you want to get some type of swagger back, this was like a big team that you needed to get. It's Kevin Durant. It's Devin Booker. Those are they're kind of like the apex in terms of NBA talent. One of the best wing of an entire generation, along with LeBron. Devin Booker, the 70-point extraordinaire shooter. This was the team that if you wanted to kind of put your stamp back in and to kind of put your hat back in the ring and saying, no, we're not going to give up and quit. We're going to fight. We're going to try to make the play until the very end. This was the game to get. The Houston Rockets ended up with a monumental win, one of their biggest wins of the season, in clutch moments when they absolutely needed it, because I know every Houston fan was absolutely on pins and needles waiting on that Durant 3 or Devin Booker 3 to hit. So thankfully that was not the case, and we can hope that as this Rockets team continues to move forward, as we move forward with them, we can only hope that they continue to get these wins and just get some road wins, and then maybe, just maybe, there could be a miracle for this Houston Rockets. Thank you for joining in once again. Shout outs to our sponsor once again. Gotta give him a shout out one time to Big City Wings. That's right, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint one time. The best deal on the planet, 2 for Tuesday. That's right, buy one, get one. You buy 5, you get 10. Buy 10, you get 20. My 2 top flavors. Gotta get myself some garlic parm. I'm a garlic parm fan. And then number 2, gotta get myself the Gold Fever. The Gold Fever is absolutely delicious. One of my favorite blend wet flavors to have, and the best deal, like you said, all around. So find your nearest Houston location that is nearest to you. Go check them out one time. Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint one time. Once again, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Summit State of Mind, episode 208, officially in the books. You can follow me on Twitter at Summit Commish. Follow my tag team partner and my brother and co-host, the GM Justin, at JP_Mirabueno. Follow our Twitter and Instagram page. Twitter at Summit SOM Pod. Instagram at Summit State of Mind _pod. Follow our media company at Apollo NBA and at Apollo HOU. Super kick that subscribe button one time if you like. If you want to like, subscribe, anything in regards to this episode, and you want to continue to follow all of our content, be sure to give us a follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Apollo HOU. Shout outs to the crown jewel of Astros podcast. That's right, BTD Beyond the Diamond. Make sure to give them your first listen for all Houston Astros content. Shout outs to Apollo Texans. That's right, Off the Gridiron. Make sure you give them your first listen for all Houston Texans content. And once again, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making us your first listen for all Houston Rockets content. I missed all of y'all. It's been very busy, but I'm glad I can get back in, do another episode with y'all, as Apollo HOU actually is in the middle of moving right now. That's right. We're going to have a new office, so you're going to see here in about a month or two where we're going to be. I'm excited to show it all to our audience here. So let's get ready to go home here as my producer gives us the go home cue here on episode 208. That's right. And I have to end it only one way, with a Go Summit, Go Apollo, and Rockets. That's a big freaking win. Balls of steel. Continue. Let's go on a win streak. Go Rockets. Oh, yeah, and by the way, watch basketball. Yeet!